But I do know that you don't hear a lot of eminent domain cases before the court. It's been a settled area of law for a long time, and who knows? But I would say this, that I think if the case came back today, it would go exactly the same way, 5-4.
I have a question and a follow-up question.
Okay.
What's the status of the Pfizer project right now?
Well, the Pfizer project was completed well before the litigation was completed. They were in the building and fully operating, and they still are today.
How about the surrounding area?
Yeah, the surrounding area, the 90 acres that was targeted, is 90 acres of a dirt bowl right now. There's not a single structure there. 4 years after the fact, they've all been demolished, and there's not even a hole dug in the ground for a foundation. It is a sanctuary for feral cats, wild birds, and vagabonds. There's nothing there.
My second question, apparently you know Mrs. Kelo quite well by now.
Yeah.
Do you think if Pfizer and the city had come to her hat in hand and said, we have a vision for this area, it will be good for the city, it will be good for your neighbors, we're going to treat them right, and they humbly asked her to enter into a free market arrangement, free market deal, do you think she would have considered it?
You know, maybe, but I'd ask it a different way. Here's the question that I think is more realistic. And I don't mean to be critical of that question, but I think this is a scenario that was actually on the table. Once the city and the development agency had acquired all of the properties except the 7 homes that were the people in the court case. So of 90 acres they wanted, they had 87.3 or something. There was less than 3 acres left to get. Okay, they've got the titles to everything else, and they've actually cleared everything else. So they've got these 7 homeowners, boom, 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 clustered in there. That's all. And the developer wants to move ahead. They got money invested. The state has spent $70 million. The city has spent money. And the developer says, okay, guys, listen, you know what? We can build the project just like you got it drawn up here. We can do the whole project with these 7 houses still here. Okay? And the city attorney, Tom Londrigan, has a decision to make. Should we put the pedal to the metal with the litigation because we know we can win? Because he's read the law. Connecticut's law is very favorable to doing this. He knows that. Or do we make a deal right now where we allow these people to stay, and in exchange for that, we get the build-out that we want in the city. We get all that tax revenue. We create 2,000 jobs and bring all these construction people. We get to do it all. And he says, no. Go forward. Get them all. So if I'm Pfizer, it's then. Here's the paper. Here's the company that's now been on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, portrayed as the big bad pharmaceutical that went in and shook down 90-year-old senior citizens on oxygen to get their houses, which isn't really fair because that's not really what they did. But they've been portrayed that way. Okay, you're dealing with that problem. So my question would be this way. Why wouldn't Pfizer go over there and say, hey, you know what? We're a big stakeholder in this too. We got the $300 million project right next door. We want you to do that project over there with the 87 acres, and we'd be happy to have these people as our neighbors. In fact, we'll spend $500,000 per house. 7 houses, we'll spend $500,000 per house to redo the facades and the yards and the driveways on all of them so they look historic, to match the rest of the development. How about that? Project goes away. What does Pfizer get? They get millions and millions of dollars of PR. They're good corporate partners. The homeowners stay. The city gets its plan. And today, if you went down there, you'd see a 5-star hotel, biomedical research space, new upscale housing, and you'd see a pink house with 6 neighbors and everybody'd be happy. But that's not what they did. What do I know? I mean, I'm just a writer, but I mean, you think about this stuff and you go, why don't smart people do stuff like that? And it's all about, I said this in the only opinion I put in this book is in the prologue where I said, to me, This story comes down to one word, and it's such a powerful word in America, in humanity. It's pride, P-R-I-D-E. And pride can be a wonderful quality in a human being, or it can be the pathway to disaster. Now, I think Susette Kelo had a lot of pride. It's the good kind of pride. That's the kind of pride that makes a person stand up for themselves, for the pride of it. Or you can have the kind of pride that I think the people on the other side had, where we are not going to be beat by these people who dare to stand up to us. And I think it cost them everything because they did. Thank you very much.